I am sick of the culture of fans trash talking players in the modern day of sports. This is coming off of the heels of a fan getting kicked out of a game for insulting Ketel Marte's late mother. And as someone who has lost his mom, I know that pain is so real. And this idea that fans are just acting out like crazy just for social media views or to get in the head of other teams' players, this is something that needs to stop. Now, I'm not talking about fan friendly rivalries between buddies and different things like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the absolute dehumanization of players in sports. This idea that somehow you deserve to have the right because you paid for a ticket to cruelly and brutally insult people. And you can call me soft and you can call the players soft, but I really think that this is missing out on the whole perspective. Look, rivalries are good. The fire between players is good. The rivalries between teams, the occasional fight on the field that shows the intensity. That's why we love sports. But this idea, as much as fans hate umpires interjecting themselves and taking over the games, you know what I hate even more? I hate fans taking over the game. I hate fans making the game all about themselves as much as I hate anything that goes on the field. Look, there are very real rivalries that are going on in these games. There are fun ways that fans can interact with players both on positive and negative teams. There's lots of great footage of times where fans have talked bad about players and the players hiding around the corner and everyone has a good laugh. That's fine in a very broad general sense. But when you start doing things that are specifically targeting the heart and soul of players, you've lost it as a fan. And we need to change this. Now, why is this happening? I'm going to give you a couple thoughts. One, it obviously has a lot to do with alcohol at stadiums. One of the reasons that I am so cautious on taking my family to more games is just the amount of rage that alcohol fuels makes it not a kid-friendly and not a fan-friendly place in a lot of stadiums. And it's not just the alcohol. Some of it's just the general attitudes of fans at the game. You know, I was talking and teaching my kids some baseball at a spring training game. And one of the ladies in front of me got absolutely upset that I was talking to my kids and teaching them about baseball. It just makes it not a fun place to go. And I really think that there's this big tension between baseball and sports in general wanting to maximize the revenue. They're trying to make enough money to cover all the salaries and make a profit. And I get it. It's way more money than probably you and definitely I will ever touch and see. But at the same time, part of this is the losing the soul and the heart of what these sports are all about. It's supposed to be a fun, entertaining setup. It's supposed to be some place where we can go and relax, where we can pass traditions on from one generation to the next. And it just seems to be creeping from the top all the way down, this constant negativity, this constant wanting to be seen, having a name made for ourselves. And honestly, this goes beyond the sports world. This goes on with the whole creator culture. And sometimes probably as an internet creator, I get caught up in the same thing. But I really want to bring back and revitalize intelligent rivalries in sports. And what do I mean by that? I want to look at things not from an emotional lens. With all the stats that we have, I really always kind of bucket this idea of, oh, this player sucks or this team is no good just because I don't like them. Look, they're a rival, but it's fine. I have no problem. I'm content in my life to say, look, right now, the Braves are beating the tar out of the Mets, and the Mets need to get something figured out. I don't need to go out and trash talk the Braves or the Braves players, nor do I need to really go out and trash talk the Mets or the Mets players. I want to look at things from a very broad perspective and say analytically, what are the things that are going wrong? How would I try to fix this problem? Now, again, I realize that some of this is me and just my personality, so I'm not here to condemn you if you get into spats talking bad about other teams or players on your own team. But we see constantly that players are lifted up when they're struggling, when their fans get behind them, that teams can feed off the fuel in the crowd. And I think Most people have frustrations in their own lives that have much more to do with stuff that has nothing to do with sports, and they take it out on their sports team because honestly, that's the only place they can take it out. I can promise you that most of us, if we had people yelling at us and heckling us, no matter how much money we made, it would be hard for us to perform at our maximum capabilities. And I get it. That's part of the reason why fans like to heckle players from the other teams. But can we at least get back to some form of civility where we're not just being absolutely atrociously evil to players, even if they're on teams that we hate, or even if they're on our team and they're struggling mightily? I just think that we're going down a wrong path when we're taking things and we're making decisions about people personally, and we're making personal decisions about people personally, as opposed to just saying, hey, this player is struggling right now. Let's try to figure out why they're struggling. Let's try to figure out what sort of things we're seeing, or what sort of stats show us that things are more in their favor. But I really want to say, let's make a push to civility in sports. At least a little bit better. Can we be at least a little bit better than insulting people's passed away family members? Because it's not a good look for fans. It's only going to drive a wedge between us and the players that we enjoy watching and the teams that we enjoy cheering on. These are real people with real problems. Now, they might not have the financial problem that you have. They might not have the relationship problem, but they still have other real problems in their life, and they're real people. So let's be better than that.